Jesus came to this earth on a mission. He came to die. When the time to die was drawing near, Jesus outlined his final days for his disciples. He wanted them to be prepared for what was going to happen, that he was going to die. In Luke 18, verses 31 to 33, it says, Jesus took the 12 aside and told them, "We are going up to Jerusalem, and everything that is written by the prophets about the Son of Man will be fulfilled. He will be handed over to the Gentiles. They will mock him, insult him, spit on him, flog him, and kill him. On the third day he will rise again." Jesus told the disciples 4 things that were about to happen. Number 1, he would suffer many things. Number 2, he would be rejected by the religious leaders. Number 3, he would be killed. And number 4, he would rise again on the third day. Jesus knew, and he told his disciples plainly, clearly, openly, simply what was about to happen. It happened like he said. It is amazing that Jesus knew, but he allowed it to happen. He knew the plan of redemption, and he went through with it. It was a plan established before the foundation of the world. Jesus was crucified, and he did rise again on the third day. We are looking at it as history, looking back, and they say hindsight is 20/20, and it is easy for us to believe and to understand what he meant when he said it, because we're hearing it in the future. We are putting our faith and trust in the Savior who knew why he came to earth. He knew he would be rejected and killed. We also put our faith in the Savior who came back from the dead on the third day. It wasn't an easy thing for the disciples to hear when Jesus explained what was about to happen to him. It was difficult to understand how. How was what he was saying, how could that happen? The disciples had many hopes and dreams of their future lives, the rest of their lives, following Jesus. His death was not in any of their dreams or plans. It did not fit into their eschatology, their view of prophecy and what was to come. How could it be? How could he die? And so Luke 18:34, it says this, "The disciples did not understand any of this. Its meaning was hidden from them, and they did not know what he was talking about." Though Jesus' words were blunt, clear, and to the point, the disciples still didn't understand. Now that gives us hope, because many times we don't understand in the crisis, in the situation. We just don't get it. We can be in a cloud of confusion and anxiety. The disciples were in this fog of confusion when Jesus was tried, crucified, and died on the cross. Then he was buried. Maybe they had hope right up until the moment when he died. Like New England Patriots fans had hope when there was 2 minutes left in the game and the Patriots could tie or win with just one score, because we knew that Tom Brady could get the ball down the field and score. We didn't know he would, but we knew he could. So the game was never over until it was over when Tom Brady was the quarterback, right? We knew he could score in a minute. Now the disciples had been with Jesus and saw him do many miraculous and powerful things, and they knew he could do anything. They knew that he had the power to come down from the cross. They knew that he could end this trial He had the power. He could disappear and reappear. They knew that it was possible he wouldn't die. He could have come down from the cross, but he didn't. He died. And for the disciples, they thought, it's over. And they put his lifeless body in the tomb. In that moment, all hope was gone. When you experience a great loss, grief, and sorrow of the soul, it's the nights that are the hardest to bear. Like you may push through the day, but then when the nighttime comes and you lay down your head on the pillow and you try to get some rest, you can't. Because your mind starts racing and it's running over the difficulties and things you'll have to deal with the next day. Tomorrow's coming and it's not going to be good because I couldn't fix it today. And that means no sleep tonight. Jesus was in the tomb for 2 nights. The worst 2 nights in history. These were the dark nights of the soul for Peter, John, and the disciples. As Jesus had foretold, the religious leaders and chief priests did come and take him prisoner. They did reject him. They did examine him. They did try him and find him guilty because he said he was the Son of God, and they called him the King of the Jews. They took him to Pilate, the Roman governor, and asked Pilate to carry out the sentence of execution on Jesus because he said he was King of the Jews. The disciples saw their Messiah being mocked, being beaten, and being crucified. Then they saw him die. Imagine their grief and their confusion in these moments. I'm going to end part 1 of this sermon right here and ask you to listen to the song He's Alive by Dolly Parton. It will help you to get in touch with what these 2 terrible nights must have felt like for the disciples. So we're going to pause here, then you can come back and watch the second half.